everybody, and welcome officially to this behind the scenes of coaching group right here with me and the Anchored Nation team. We are so honored and excited to give you a kind of a little sneak peek behind the curtain into what we're doing right now as a team, our vision and mission, and really what we're trying to accomplish this year. So if you don't know me at all, my name is Stephanie Arnold, and I'm the founder of the Anchored Nation team. And I'm so excited to just share with you over the next few days what we actually do as coaches, what we're trying to accomplish within the Anchored Nation, and how you can partner with us to do it too. So first off, if you've never heard of anything about me before, or you've never heard my story, I'm just going to go through it real quick. If you have, bear with me, I'm sorry. But I want to make sure you understand my passion and heart behind why I am a health and fitness coach. So I grew up in a happy, healthy Christian home. But like so many people in my generation, I went through a really dark downward spiral from the time I left home after high school until about age 20. So that like I think a 2.5, 3 year span. And one day about age 20, I had a moment on the floor in my apartment alone, just bawling my eyes out, really disgusted with who I had become and the things I'd let myself get involved in. I was a full-blown alcoholic. I drank 7 days a week, smoked, slept around. I was the most superficial person ever. All I cared about was me. Most of my, friendships I had were all based on what that person could do for me, what club, bar, party that they could get me into, what frat house. And I was really flunking out of college, living on student loans and racking up credit card debt too. I was just ashamed of what I was doing for work to pay for all of that. And I was a total fraud. I used everyone around me. People thought that they were my good friends, and I really just kept them around to see how I could, when they'd be useful again, I guess. And that night, I just cried so hard. I literally made myself throw up in just pure disgust of this version of myself that I had become. So I really kind of made a decision that night. It was like I had to draw a line in the sand. I didn't want to be like that. That's not who I wanted to be anymore. I completely cut off my family too, and I was missing them. I had nobody in my life really to help me fix it. So I had to do it myself. So I made a decision that night that I would just turn things over to God and become a better version of me. And I didn't even know where to start or what that looked like, but I just started taking baby steps, and I got a new job, and I moved back home, and I made some new friends that were the kind of people that I wanted to be like. And slowly but surely, I cleaned up my mess, and I met an amazing guy who was just so hot. And really everything that I'd ever dreamed of in a husband. I felt like I was really reaching. I was felt honored that a guy of this caliber would be interested in me. And we got married and lived happily ever after, right? For a few years. And then, so that was 10 years ago. And I've had my fair share of highs and lows since then. And my worst, and what I really want you to understand where I came from and how I started my business here, was about 3 years ago. Ryan and I had moved to a brand new city for him to accept his dream job. It was supposed to be a really exciting time, and I was miserable. We moved away from all of our closest friends. It was the closest, snowiest winter I'd ever experienced. I am a Florida girl, through and through, born and raised, woo! And I didn't know what winter was until we moved to Philadelphia and got 12 inches of snow the first day we lived there. And it was just rough in a new place where I had zero friends, no cute clothes, because I was cold all the time. And I just had no family, no social network really to help me find a job. So I had a degree now, and I couldn't find a job. I spent 3 months applying to jobs, hundreds of them, and only got 2 interviews. By the time I made it to that second interview, when I got there, I realized the manager was only seeing me out of a favor for a mutual friend, and honestly thought that I was only qualified to be a cashier. And that was really the last straw for me. In the middle of the interview, when he communicated that to me, I burst into tears, not just oh, I'm going to cry a little bit. I'm tearing up a little bit, just thinking about this, remembering that day. And I just burst into tears, and the really ugly, you can't talk, oh my gosh, full body sobbing, crying in the middle of this job interview. And I cried for several hours after. I think it was I don't think it was till the next day that I could even tell Ryan what happened in the interview, because I was that just a mess. I curled up in bed and stayed there for days. I was just done. I felt worthless. I was ready to give up. I was so frustrated that I couldn't communicate my value. I was so scared in interview processes, like that I was so fearful and always felt so judged in that setting that I was always failing to communicate my value. And so I was depressed and embarrassed. I felt like a total failure. I was 27 and ready to like never work again. I was like begging Ryan to let me be a stay-at-home wife. And I really just had hit a rock bottom for me where I knew I had to make a change because, surprise, now I'm halfway through a pregnancy, still unemployed, unhappy, uncomfortable in my own skin, and eating all of my emotions and just truly hating myself for it. This was not the dream life that I had imagined for us. And I decided to start with my health and fitness because that was something I could control. And that was the only thing I felt that I had control of in this situation. I couldn't get somebody to hire me. I couldn't get somebody to interview me. I didn't have the communication skills at the moment to share my worth, but I know that working out and eating healthy is going to make some sort of difference. So I really wasn't after so much of a weight loss story because, like I said, I was pregnant, but I had zero confidence and just felt so uncomfortable in my own skin. And this whole experience had just torn me down totally. So I hit this point where I had to make a change. I have to take charge of my health and fitness. I've got to do something for me. And if not for me, for the freaking baby in my belly that I was 100% responsible for at that moment. And everything that I was eating was going straight to her. And if I wasn't eating well, then she wasn't going to be healthy. And so that burden really fell hard on me. So I called my best friend, Brandy, who if you've watched the previous video in this group, you've met Brandy. She's my best friend, and I committed to doing an at-home workout program with her. Some of you might have heard of PiYo. It's a Pilates like yoga mix, and the workouts are all about 30 minutes. You can do them from home. It was perfect for pregnancy and for a beginner because I had never really worked out outside of like high school sports. And it's still to this day one of my favorite workouts. So I told myself that if I can't commit to 30 minutes a day for my health and fitness right now for this baby's sake, then there's no way I'm ever going to do it for me. So I just committed. I drew another line in the sand and I decided that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to feel better. So I committed and actually stuck to my program. And in the first 30 days, I could see a visible definition in my legs and love handles. I'm pregnant. Remember this. Now I'm, 30 days later? So that's I'm like 26 weeks pregnant now. And I'm getting definition in my legs. My love handles are shrinking. I have these photos. I should share them with you in this group from behind of me pregnant. And you don't even you can't see my belly. So you don't know that I'm pregnant. But like you can see love handles in the first one and they're like shrinking. And like, I've got this like nice toned waist from behind. You don't know that I'm pregnant at all. It's crazy. And so anyhow, that was just after 30 days while my belly was growing. And I just loved that. I was like, I can actually get results pregnant. Like I wasn't expecting that. And I continued on this journey, and about 6 months after I had her, I was down 40 pounds, weighed less than my pre-pregnancy weight. I was toned, defined, had visible abs for the first time in my life. I felt sexy, amazing. My energy was different. My confidence was different. Just everything had totally changed for me. So, let me backtrack just a little bit. Because just after 7 days of working out and following a meal plan and just drinking a simple shake, I already began to feel like a different woman. I had hope, I had confidence, I was proud of myself, and I knew in that moment that I wanted every woman to be able to feel this way. So that's when I started to realize that this job actually existed. Being a health and fitness coach was actually a thing. I knew that I could inspire other women just like me to stop feeling like crap, stop beating themselves up, and that they have a choice to make. And maybe, you chose to feel crappy, but you can choose to feel great and confident. And I wanted to give that gift to other people. So when I realized that job existed, helping people online with their health and fitness and finding people to serve through social media at home with my new daughter all day long, I knew that I needed this job. I was born for this job, and I've never looked back. My life has never been the same, and I'm very happy to say that I no longer am a self-conscious, self-hating woman who doesn't care about herself. I'm officially a business owner. I feel like a badass. I'm 30 years old. I have so much confidence. I'm so happy and fulfilled. I have so much passion in my life. My marriage is better than it's ever been. My relationships have improved with my family, friends, clients, everyone. My communication skills have gotten better. I'm actually making this video for you and feel really good about it. I work at home by myself at home with my daughter, or really wherever we travel to. As long as I've got Wi-Fi, I'm good. And I'm doing something that I love. And I'm making a difference. And I think that's just so special and so rare. Okay, so that's enough about me. Do me a favor and share with us in the comments below the video here. Share with us a little bit about who you are and the journey that you're on right now. What are you looking for? Is it are you wanting to lose weight? Do you want to inspire others? Maybe you've already lost the weight and you felt like I did and you want to help others do that. Maybe you want some accountability on your own weight loss journey. Do you want some extra income, maybe to pay your phone bill, or do you want to go all out and quit your job? Are you at a job that you don't like, or are you not happy? What is it? You've got to name it and figure out what it is that you want out of life right now. You've got to name it if you're going to make any changes with it. So I encourage you, please share with us below. Nothing will leave this group. I promise. This is just a private group for us girls talking about coaching and talking about just being better versions of ourselves, because that's what I want for you. Okay, so stay tuned. I'll have another video for you tomorrow, a more in-depth look at what I do and how I really help people. We use challenge groups to do that, and I'm going to explain kind of what that process looks like and how you'll be able to do that too. So I love you all already, and thank you so much for watching. And I look forward to getting to know you guys in this group and really helping you decide if coaching is the right thing for you. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.